All right, hello everybody. Sorry there was no video posted yesterday. I did record one, and I didn't end up posting it. I got really involved in what I was doing. But the cool story today is my printer came in, and also this newsprint paper came in, and it prints really nicely. Now these I printed upside down accidentally, so we didn't use them. But if you look closely, that's nice. Printing for newsprint. Black on the newsprint, and even the color on the newsprint looks good. Now, the images I used are already distressed and degraded, so don't pay too much attention to the degrading of the purple on this side. And this one's meant to look like a vintage Risograph print. This is a degraded photo of something. But I created a zine. I'm going to do a whole walkthrough. This is using an Epson EcoTank 2803. I got a picture of it right here. And what's different about this printer is it actually comes with the ink. I guess around the time of the big lockdown, everybody figured out that those cartridges were screwing everybody else over. The cartridges, and I have a Pixma that I'm trying to get rid of right now, a Canon Pixma, only hold about a tiny bit of ink, like a sip of ink, and then you have to buy the cartridge over and over and over again. And they were even making it so that if you didn't have the proprietary cartridge to the machine, it was quite expensive. I think for a set of full colors for my Canon, it was like $75, and they didn't even last that long. So now they're making these things called EcoTanks, and you can see they've got these little tanks, and the tanks take entire bottles of ink, and there's a lot of ink there. In fact, there's ink left in this bottle, even though I filled the entire thing up. And the ink, by the way, is not that expensive. So this has been a pretty cool development. The other cool thing, I've been trying for a long time to get my stuff into newsprint. Now, you usually can't print on newsprint. It's an impossible paper to work with, but this is the legit kind of comics, the kind of paper that comics is printed on. We want something lo-fi and pulp, and it turns out that it's actually quite expensive to try and do that, because you'd have to go through a web press and do all these other different things. But Bright Creations, you can see brightcreations.co, started making this newsprint paper. And actually, I just looked on Amazon, and they don't say it's good for inkjet printers, but a lot of people in the reviews said, I really wanted to print out my crossword puzzles on newspaper, to give it the legitimate feel, and this is working great for me. And I saw somebody on YouTube saying, hey, this particular paper works really good in the inkjet. And I just had the idea it was $12, so I thought, okay, well, I'll buy a $12 ream or 500 sheets to try it out. Well, long story short, it totally works. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through Monster Chrome, and I'm going to show you how I did it. This is an ash can sized book, so if you were to look at one of the full sheets, well, let's take a look at this one. Hang on. Oh, here we go. There's my print dummy. This is a full sheet of paper, and then you fold it in half, and that's the size of the paper. So you just take a regular size paper, and you're printing it front and back. So you can, and I've got it staple bound. I've got my deep throat stapler that I can staple the spine. All right, so over the last couple of weeks, you may have noticed I've been doing kind of a flurry of these color prints. This is Tarzan that I did with Jacob Moore, who did the color. It's the only comic I really have that was done in color, and it was never going to get printed because printing in color is just too expensive. Doing it print on demand, or even through Mixam or one of those other places, it would end up too much for what you get, right? It's just a little too expensive. However, printing it on the old EcoTank there, it's hardly touched the reserves on there. I can see the levels on the printer, and it looks great. Also, you'll notice some interesting things here. Okay, the print paper is gray. I was fooling around with simulated papers over here, so you can see the background of this dinosaur is actually a simulated vintage newsprint. And same thing over look here, let's see, I think it's this one right here. So you can see white on this side, but you see it's this darker color. This is actually a simulated, it's meant to look like it's a vintage newsprint. And I started out really ambitious. I did a whole, this is a 20-page zine that I just basically printed, you know, right on my home printer, stapled it up, ready to go. Now I've only printed 3 copies of it. I'm going to show you how to do it. And one of these is going to Jacob Moore, who did the coloring on the other one. One of these is going to a friend of mine from class who expressed interest in it early. He's the first person who said, that's really neat. And I told him, you can have one if you like. So I'm going to give him one. I'll keep one for myself. I'm going to print some more, though. Oh, the other cool thing, it prints, the Epson prints directly from the iPad. So cancel, go back. It prints directly from the iPad. And my printer is off right now. But it's so easy to do because that's where my art is. My art is also on the iPad. Now, how to set this up? First of all, step 1 is you actually have to get some real paper and you make a dummy. This is my dummy. FC stands for front cover. BC is back cover. And then inside front cover. And of course, inside back cover. And the reason you do this because it soon becomes very confusing which page is what. So by the time we get to, let's say, page 1, right? Page 2 is on the inside, page 3 is on the next piece of paper. So you've got to kind of plan out your dummy, no matter what size you're doing, if you're doing an 8-page, if you're doing a 10-page, or whatever else. So for example, page 1 is going to have page 2 on the other side, but then page 19 on this side and 20 on the other side. So really it's a 22-page when I consider or 24-page considering the front and back cover. So you have to do that first. And if you look at my, this is the stack where I created it, and each page that you're printing has basically 2 pages per side. So by the time you printed a full page front and back, you're going to have 4 pages. So this is the front cover. That's the front cover on this side, and this would be the back cover. And you can imagine if this were to fold down the middle, that would be the outsides of it. But these are the insides. This is the inside front cover, and this is the inside back cover, right? And then you basically have to plan everything. So this particular comic just only has the one Tarzan story, but has a lot of like kind of other art that I was doing as an experiment. But you can see Tarzan starts here, and you know the next panel is here. So if I were to, let me jump back out of it for a second. So if you look at the titles, that's how I set it up. This was 20-1. That's page 20 on that side, 1 on that side. And then if I go to the very bottom one, that's page 10 and 11 centerfold. That's the thing that you're going to see in the middle. Anyways, not difficult to do, and this is kind of a game changer for me, at least as far as self-printing this goes. And I have to really credit seeing James Pham's. This is who really inspired me. I had been getting into Risograph. Let's see if I can find James Pham epoxy. This guy is a print artist, but he also does stuff for like Cartoon Network, and here it is right here. And he does all this stuff with a legitimate Risograph like that he has in his garage, like a full-size one, you know, that belongs in a print shop. And he's got a couple of these, and they're really pretty. Now, his are full-size magazines, and they're selling for like $24, $25 off of his Store Envy store. Printed in Lush soy ink in my garage there. And if you look at the... oh, he did a transparency... This is what I want to try next. You can get transparency film that'll print in an inkjet. So he included a transparency page in there with this explosion. Super nice stuff that's in there. So I look at stuff like this and I think, oh, I wish I could do that. You know, I wish I could put something together. It's not a matter of getting super super slick looking stuff, because you can already just buy that. You can already just get that. You can get it print on demand. You can buy a print run at Mixam or any number of other places. Or if it really matters to you, you can just make it as a PDF and just have it as digital only. But messing with print has always, look at that, that's gorgeous right there. Messing with print has always been kind of an interest for me, because you get the physical object. It becomes an art object at that point. Well, let me open this up. There it is. So Monster Chrome, that's how Monster Chrome came about. Inspired by seeing a video and running across James Pham and his Store Envy store. I thought I could do this. Now, my birthday's coming up. My girlfriend, who works in print, this might be my secret advantage, got me something I want to show you. This is a Risograph color mixing chart, and this shows this shows just the three colors: mint, bubblegum, and sunflower, and how they mix. You know, depending on whether the coverage is 10%, 20%, 30%, all the way up to 100%, and then how they mix with the other colors, and you get this interesting spectrum of colors. And then this is something similar. This is a Risograph color wheel, an overprint chart, where you can see, and I believe this is all of the Risograph inks that were ever made, but not all of them would be available if you were to just find a studio that has a Risograph printer, which are kind of rare. I think there's one in Baltimore. They're pretty much becoming obsolete at this point, so they're ending up in sort of the private possession of different artists. And then this is a similar chart to the one before, but with all of the inks and showing all of the different overprint. Well, I say all of them. It took me a long time to study this one. This shows all of them at 100% and all of them at 50%. So you can look at every single ink that was ever made at 100% and then everyone at 50%. This is the 100, even though this says 50% down here. This is the 100% saturation row over here, and then this is the 50% saturation over here, and then you would cross-reference. And it actually also gives you the names, the official names of the different colors, along with the thing there. So pretty cool. It's not just the paper, and it's not just the printer, and it's not just the sort of Risograph aesthetic, and it's not just the specific palette of the Risographs, but somehow all of that, if you put it all together, if you put all of these elements together, you get something I think that's kind of interesting and kind of unique. And it was just kind of a serendipity thing. So anyways, thanks so much to Jacob Moore for coloring. It's been actually almost over a year since we did that project, and look, I got little comic poly bags for them. I don't tape my poly bags because I'm afraid that some sticky tape will get on the paper and it'll rip it. But all of this sort of comes together if you happen to be in the right place at the right time. Alright, so there will be more comics printed. I'm going to try and do 5 more copies of Monster Chrome of this issue. And that's all I'm going to do. I think or maybe I'll do 7 more. We'll make it a run of 10 issues before I try and do something else. Luckily, I have, if you look at my iPad, I have a backlog of something like 700 pages. You know, everything mostly black and white, which would be fine. I don't mind printing in black and white. I think black and white on newsprint is going to look awesome. And you know, the proof right there is, let's see if I just bagged all my books, but I don't know what I did with the other one. I can show you, but that one Nosferatu drawing is done black and white, and that one came out great. So I want to do more like that. We're going to see more of that in the future. One thing, oh, here it is right here. So the one thing I also want to do, look at that. Oh, it feels great. It has the feel. It says Radomir the Undying. So I'm not using Nosferatu anymore, but it's just, the texture looks great. I like the way it mats out the color a little bit, so the color's not so bright. Boy, I hate slick paper, and I hate digital ink. This is really cool. So anyways, where was I going with this story? I'm not sure. But this opens up a huge number of possibilities for creating sort of a line of printers. My only problem with it right now is it's a bit slow. It's not super fast. But the fewer colors you've got on there, even if it's in color, if you do a single color printing, and I'll show you an example of one. There's a page in Monster Chrome that I did that's just red, like this. I don't know if you can see it. So I want to do something like that. I might do a bunch of things like that. Or I even started converting over Book of Ruin. So there's Book of Ruin in green. The original, of course, looks like this right here. So learning all of these little tricks and things has been really cool. I look forward to making more of this stuff. Oh, I've already gotten it converted over. So here's the entire story in green. And it's lettered and everything. I think where's the scene of the house blowing up? Right over here. All right. Well, cool. Anyways, so I'm off on this new venture, and had some inspirational thoughts this weekend. So let me finish the final 7 issues of Monster Chrome, or at least Monster Chrome #1. Maybe this might be #1, and we'll do a #2 or something. And I will talk to you later.